It's preparing. This meeting is being live streamed. Okay. It's preparing.
Meeting is now streaming.
Being live streamed. Okay. Hello, everybody. Well, we're on YouTube. You know, we're going into a whole new venture here. So, welcome to the Holistic Happy Hour, Holistic Health Happy Hour. See, I'm all flustered. So, hang on, I got to turn my volume down on YouTube. You know, we're going. There we go. Now I can do this. So, welcome to maybe not. All right, there we go. Welcome. We never said we were Hollywood producers here, so
boy, you got that right. But
there you go. Okay. So here we are. We're on my YouTube channel. We are recording, so we will post it on the Facebook group if you don't catch us here on YouTube. Otherwise, welcome to our new adventure in YouTube live streaming. So anyway, I'm Julie Sherwood, your Best Helps Wellness Coaching. I do constellational astrology work. I do root cause therapy approaches to helping you remove things that block your way to happiness, purpose, and joy in life, among other things. And I am joined here by my stellar, using that word on purpose, co-hostess, Maria. So tell everybody about you.
Hi there. I'm Maria Schumacher, also known as Vian of Venus13.com. I am a constellational astrologer also, and a practicing witch, and a psychic medium, and a tarot reader. And I pretty much, if it's esoteric, I have dipped my toe into it. So I offer some services through Venus13.com to help you on your spiritual journey, as I am also taking mine. So let's take it together and see if we can have some fun with it. And is it just taking advantage of the fact that probably nobody but us is here right now on the live? Is there?
Oh, we are recording, so people.
We are recording. Okay, that's cool. Is there a way to like let people know that we're live right now on Facebook?
Yes, I actually did just post a link on Facebook that said we are live, and I put the link to the channel, and I'm seeing it on my other screen, so I know we are live. And there's a way you could put comments in the chat. So if you do catch us.
This is, I mean, this is where Julie is such a hero, because she does all of this and troubleshoots it all, where I just sit here, you know, looking.
We do this together.
Yeah, I just sit here smiling, going, go team, go. But it's really all Julie. It's really all Julie.
Except for when I say, when it's time, let's share the chart. But before we do that, let's talk about the meditation that we put out there for the new moon.
Yes, so this is our sort of mid-cycle check-in, right? We did a thing on the full moon, which was kind of a big thing. This time we made a guided meditation that we hoped people would listen to, and it would guide them through their moon sign to the animal spirit guide that was going to be with them on this moon cycle journey.
Right. And we did it for the new moon.
Did I say full?
You did. Oh. No, that's okay. Full moon, new moon, you know, that thing in the sky.
I think it was, yeah. It was, we did.
And a shout out to
It's Jennifer so funny Scott, because I was like thinking the word new, and out of my mouth did not come that word. Anyway,
so yes, new moon meditation.
New moon meditation. And so like it was the first one that we did. It was a prototype, and we're going to do another one for the next new moon. But we were hoping to check in live with people this time, just to see, okay, what did you get for a spirit guide? How is that playing out for you on your journey? Do you have any questions, or is there maybe something that we can help you with? Considering the fact that we've had to leapfrog around to a couple different places,
okay.
I don't know. But I do want to invite people to, you know, since it was hard to find us live, I am Vianne, Vianne, at Venus-13.com. Send me an email. If you catch this, you've sat the meditation and you've got some questions like, your spirit guide animal is sort of leading you down a rabbit hole, or you're realizing that there's a particular thing that you would like some healing help with, reach out to me, reach out to Julie, whose email is
If we do the business one attached to my website, it's Julie at yourbesthopeswc.com. And the other thing too is if you're okay with it being posted, just put a comment in our comment section on the post for this video too. That's also an option.
yeah, we'll find
So
it.
yeah, I mean, we want to personalize this. We want to make this something that people can connect to rather than just the overarching, this is what's going on for everybody. How does it work for you if you have a natal moon in Taurus? How does it
Yeah,
work for you if you have it in the fourth house? How are you experiencing this lunar cycle given those markers in your chart?
right. I mean, and fascinating as it may be to just watch us talk at you, we would like to interact. We really would. We would really like to get people. We, we want to help you.
Yep, yep.
So,
And we're toying with some other ideas down the road too, so stay tuned. We're just going to tease you a little bit. So, my dear friend, how did your meditation go? If you are
okay.
willing to share.
Well, all right. So it's a little tricky to like do the meditation and sit the meditation at the same time. But so my natal moon is in Libra. So when I got to the throne of Libra, the um the animal for that was the eagle, the crow, or the eagle or the crow, one of the corvid or the crow. And so that animal led me behind the throne of the curtain. Every throne has a curtain behind it. So I was guided behind the curtain. And the animal to which that totem introduced me was a blue butterfly.
Oh my God. Keep talking.
I know. No. Why was that? Oh my God. Did you get a blue butterfly too? Are you kidding me right now?
Not blue, but a butterfly.
Oh my God.
We have not talked about this.
No,
This
we
is the
haven't. We
first
have
time this
not.
is
Can you
coming
tell?
up.
Yeah. So no, it was definitely blue butterfly. And and since then, like the blue butterfly imagery had been coming up in a lot of different places for me, and including like an actual blue butterfly like flew in front of my face one time. It was really cool. So the first way it started coming up for me was just pictures online. And I had ideas to paint blue butterflies, right? It's like you just got to put blue butterflies on things. Like get a blue butterfly applique. It also the blue butterfly tends to relate to the thyroid for me, the thyroid chakra, the fifth chakra, the voice,
Right.
right? So that told me immediately that, oh, okay, you're going to be working on clearing that out, or there's going to.
And this was a Taurus new moon, right? So you're talking about painting blue butterfly. Taurus is about the beauty, the senses, and the voice, the sound. It's interesting how it connects to
The
that.
sound, yeah, and the expression, and it's just like, and I've been singing to everything, right? Like I'm singing everything all the time, singing along the song, singing la 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 la, and blue butterflies. The next was blue butterfly tea. Like had to get blue butterfly tea. That blue butterfly pea flower
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
make blue tea. Had to get that. It was like, no, you must get blue butterfly tea. To the point like I could even taste it in my mouth. Like you have to get this stuff. So I was
So
like, all
you've
right, got
three of the five senses thus far.
mhm,
Painting, the visual, the
mhm.
sound, and the taste.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
It's really interesting because Taurus does rule the five senses. So, yeah.
There we go. And
Wow.
then yeah, like a butterfly just flew in front of me one time. And it was so funny because I was mesmerized by watching this beautiful blue, like iridescent black butterfly trying to land on a willow leaf as the willow was blowing in the wind. And it was like, okay, there's a lesson in here somewhere. And I think it was like, all right, where am I trying to land on a moving target? Like, wouldn't it be easier to land on the part of the leaf that isn't moving around so much?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. So, yes, like I said, we haven't talked about this, so I'm processing it all right with everybody here. So, um,
I got the blue butterfly. So what does that say to you, blue butterfly?
so I have a Taurus new moon, I mean, a Taurus natal moon. So
Mhm.
this lunar cycle, interestingly, is in essence my return. And in the fact that the sun is also on my natal moon, so it's like a whole new lunar cycle for me in the broad sense for me personally. And if you were to look at the sun hitting your natal moon as a personal new moon, if you will, that's one way to look at it. So what's interesting about the butterfly for me in that regard is it's like it started as the cocoon, and now it's breaking out of the cocoon for metamorphosis for what's new to come.
Okay.
So I'm seeing it more in that way, like spread your wings, and this is a new cycle, like a big cycle, not just the lunar cycle, but the whole year, in some ways. And then my solar return will be in Gemini, the very last couple of degrees of Gemini. So it's interesting that I'm seeing it as more of a metamorphosis period, like coming out of that cocoon. Um, so, and the word cocoon has come up a few times. I just think about my house being my little safe cocoon, and at night the dog going into his little crate, he's in his cocoon. So it's just interesting, and it's more of a yellow butterfly for me. So which
Okay.
has some personal symbology for me as well, related to a past life. So which is also interesting. So
Can you
yeah.
share that?
Well, I can give some brief info on it because then we should probably get to the full moon chart too. So I have a past life as a midwife in the 1900s in London, and I had a baby girl at that time that was taken away from me, and the yellow butterfly represents her.
Oh, wow.
So every time I see yellow butterflies, it's her coming back to me.
Is that
And they're
interesting?
all over where I live down here.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting. And the other thing that dawned on me is, and I may be wrong, but there's something in my head that says, wasn't the cartoon character Ferdinand the Bull always fascinated with butterflies?
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
this character.
if somebody knows, you can let us know either in the chat now or later. But I think Ferdinand the Bull always had like a butterfly on his nose. So I'm thinking about Taurus the bull
Yeah.
being, the my guide, if you will, the archetype, and then that he always chased butterflies. So
Hmm.
it's kind of interesting. It's funny how these things correlate, and it would be. I really, really would love to hear from other people.
I would too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's funny that my butterfly though, yours is more the cocoon, and mine was definitely like in flight. Almost like there's, like you said, there's the eagle, there's the corvid,
Oh,
there's the butterfly, right? And every time I said it was wings spread, and the one that I saw was flying and trying to land on a moving brain. So yeah,
interesting. It's interesting how the parallels are coming up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about this moon cycle too is the fact that the full moon actually correlates to a sun that's moved into Gemini. So
Yes.
we've had a constellation change for the sun. So that
Hmm.
brings a little bit different energy. You have the seeds that were planted from the Taurus moon, but now you're harvesting under the Taurus sun, and now you're harvesting under the Gemini
Gemini.
sun for the full
Yes.
moon.
Yeah.
So,
You're going to be harvesting under that Gemini energy. So that,
yeah.
and that was a shift, right?
Yes.
Like, wahoo,
Yeah.
there was a shift today. So, is
Yeah.
this a good time to segue to that full moon chart? Let's spend a few
Yes, I
minutes on
think so.
that.
Plus, we have the solstice coming up tomorrow. So there's the summer
Yes.
solstice for Northern Hemisphere, winter solstice for the Southern Hemisphere. I thought, could I say that right?
Mhm.
You would think that by everything being in Gemini, I could actually get the words out, but apparently not. So yeah, so we've got some stuff going on right now.
Oh, that's been it all day. I've been thinking it faster than I can express it, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you all figure that out once it gets out, right? So here's our
Yeah.
beautiful chart. So for those who may not be familiar, we've got the sun in Gemini. So, let's see, I don't know if my
There's
little circle,
sun. Yep.
Sun in Gemini.
Can you see me pointing
Yep,
here? Medelio. Yep.
yep. And then the
Sun.
moon, right
Two.
opposite, just in the first few degrees of Sagittarius. Now, if
Yep.
you're following this on YouTube and you are a tropical astrologer follower, they're saying Capricorn. But we use the sky. We use the constellations as they actually appear in the sky, all 13 of them. And you'll notice the constellation sizes are different. And with the constellational astrology, the moon is actually in Sagittarius. Go use your little Stellarium app, Skyview app,
Mhm.
whatever. Go look on the 21st, and you'll see
Mhm.
that it is not in Capricorn. So, anyway, hi, Nikki. Nikki says butterflies symbolize transformations and trusting in your power to transform. I love
Somebody found
it. Thank
us.
you.
Yay,
Thank you.
Nikki.
All right.
Nikki, did you sit the meditation yourself last time, the new moon?
Yeah, let us know, Nikki, if you did have the opportunity to do the meditation and what your natal moon is, if you know.
Yeah.
So that'll help us correlate. But we'll keep talking and I'll watch the chat.
Okay. So, anyway, we have got the big time curiosity bomb, right? I feel like we've hit the all right, what do y'all want to explore next sort of phase? And there's a lot of milestones that were crossed with this one. Number one, we've got the solstice tomorrow, which is just before this moon. And that's a shift from the sun is growing, the days are getting longer, to the days are getting shorter. We've changed signs from Taurus to Gemini. We've activated the Gemini Taurus axis, the Golden Gate and the Silver Gate axis,
Right,
right?
right.
Of the opposite ends of the Milky Way. We've had the union of Venus and Mercury at the sun, which created, alchemically can be seen as balancing the polarities of masculine and feminine, alchemized by their proximity to the sun. So we had a lot of whoosh sort of come together this week right now. And now there's, all right, where are we going with that? And since it's the Gemini Sagittarius axis, curiosity is the number one word that just comes to mind.
Well, and interestingly, the dichotomy between the two of them is you've got all of that energy in Gemini for that curiosity, that data seeker, the information seeker, but the moon helps us to balance it into wisdom. What's the context of the thing you're chasing?
Mm-hmm.
How does that fit to the greater truth with the capital T? How does it align with your belief system? And feel into that. The moon asks you to feel into that. And I think that gives a nice balance between the cerebral, logical Gemini world and the moon helping us just to synthesize it in a way that makes sense to us emotionally.
Julie, this plays into the conversation we were having just before we came on here.
Yeah,
Julie and I rabbit holed into this whole conversation about really the nature of astrology. And without replaying the entire conversation, I think that really is an effect of this upcoming, full moon already. That Gemini sun just went into Gemini. Now suddenly we're curious
right.
about things that hit an inner truth. And then when the moon gets to Sagittarius and lights up that place of us that seeks truth, so everything that we're curious about from Gemini is going to be going toward illuminating an inner truth. Now that we've had that opportunity to balance the polarities of masculine and feminine.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And look where Venus sits right now. She's right between Mercury and the Sun. So she's kind of, doing one of these, shaking hands with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So Nikki has said that she's got a Capricorn moon, didn't have a chance to do the meditation. So I said she'll have to let us know how that sea goat guides her to who her astrological cosmic friend is.
Yes.
Full moon is on her north and south nodes. Lots of new information coming in, finding out things. It fits. So thank you for that feedback. Yeah. And I have my nodal axis is Gemini Sag too. So
Yes.
south node Sag, north node Gemini. So. Yeah.
Is it for you too, Nikki? You have North Node in Gemini and South Node in Sag? Or is it flipped for you?
She said the full moon is on her north and south node, so you'll have to let us know which one is where.
Yeah.
And it takes a second because there's a delay on the live feed with YouTube.
Oh,
It's like,
yippee.
well, it's normal. It's typical. But what else do we know about this moon? Um,
Okay.
oh, we've got squares with Neptune. So, my Neptune friend, how does that resonate with you?
We do got squares with Neptune. We do got squares with Neptune. So here's the thing about Neptune. Neptune expands in terms of depth. Whenever we think of Neptune, think of depth. And depth of character, depth of emotional access, depth of understanding, depth of these are all markers of maturity, right?
Right.
We kind of the kind of depth that is equated with experience. So it's another thing that Neptune does is allows us to open up to more experiences. She expands our depth. Expands our capacity for experience that will lead to maturity. And so, and yes, I do think I see Neptune as a very feminine energy. I will rapture on about that later, but the challenge here with Neptune in square to both of them really is to open up, is to invite more experience, which is awesome because in the sign of curiosity, what you want is just that invitation to be curious, right? Follow those rabbit holes, check out those possibilities, let yourself be drawn into what calls to you. Let yourself have those experiences. Let yourself follow your curiosity.
You almost don't have a choice. It's a square.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's you can get down the little rabbit holes.
Yeah.
There's a certain surrender to it, right? It's like you want to allow for that curiosity because it helps you to understand
Mhm.
what this lunar cycle is asking of you too. It's
Mhm.
surrender to it, go with it, flow with it, and do it from, actually the meditation is a great example. Go within to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Go within and be guided by that aspect of yourself that is connected to your moon. And again, this is activated by the moon hitting Sagittarius. So this is us seeking truth. So
Right.
really the Neptune square compels us to seek that truth and allows for the opening. And Neptune's direct too. She's not retrograde. So there's not a revisiting of past. This is, I am seeking truth. How am I seeking truth? By allowing myself to follow the curiosity that Gemini lights up. And that, frankly, Mercury and Venus in Gemini light up. We've got curious, curiouser, and curiousest.
Well, and what's interesting is when you were saying she's not retrograde, that the only major planet, I mean, I'm excluding any asteroids, but the only major planet that's retrograde is Pluto.
Yeah.
Everything else is forward momentum right now,
For
which is
the
really
moment,
interesting.
Saturn's going retrograde soon, but don't tell anybody. Shh.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Right on the cusp of Aquarius
Yes.
Pisces. So he's
Yes.
going to go
It
back into
gets
Aquarius.
right to the cusp of Pisces and then back into Aquarius. Thank God, because I really like Saturn in Aquarius. Like I really like Saturn in Aquarius.
It gives us a lot of opportunity. What are you going to
Mhm.
build for that community structure? How can you well, and Aquarius also rules technology and innovation. So it gives us
Yeah.
an opportunity to really look at the authority with which we use these things.
Well, and it helps us be secure in that, no, really, what we're doing right now has got structure. Like Saturn has got your back in Aquarius,
Yep.
right? There can be a lot of comfort to the Saturn and Aquarius energy because it's just going to make sure that what is built has strength and integrity.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the greater good of all.
Right,
Throw
right.
that Aquarian piece of it in there too. And Saturn is, connected to the 10th house Capricorn, it is all about social structures, what's out in the world.
Mhm.
You know, it has nothing to do with your home. It's out in the world. So, and of course, you know, there a myriad of people have talked a lot about the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction that happened a while ago, you know, and that plays into wealth. And so there's all this talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and stuff like that. So if, you know, these things are happening, then Saturn, I think, retrograding back into Aquarius says, all right, let's take a look at how we're going to use this for good.
Let's think twice about this. Like,
And
is this
right,
really what you want to do? AI, is this really where you want to go? Cloning, is this really what you want to do? Are we really doing something good with it? Are we sure we want to make another atom bomb?
right, right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah, exactly. And you know, again, Aquarius can also be rebellious, revolutionary. You know, that Saturn going back is there for
mhm,
a reason. It's like
yes.
use these things, but with integrity and good intentions and for the greater good.
Yeah, yeah, and with purpose and with sense, not just I want to, you know, I want a revolution. I want to tear it all down. Ah, okay, no, okay, don't
No.
tear the pier down while you're still standing on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And this full moon axis helps with this, right? Be
Yeah.
curious, do
Hmm.
the investigation, explore, but explore from that Sagittarian moon of, again, greater truths, higher
Yeah.
aspirations, you know, from the kind of almost, and I hate to use this word, guru point of view. You're sitting up looking out at the whole collective. If you're exploring, have that perspective. Don't be lost in the weeds.
Yeah. You know, and coming back to the Neptune square,
Yes.
it's almost like, you know, your spidey sense is on. If you're not only seeking truth, but your truth meter is going to be pinging you loudly. So if something sounds false, if something isn't ringing true, if something is sounding hinky, like your hinky meter is going to be excellent. Your psychic powers are going to be just right on with that Neptune square. Mercury in Gemini, especially, is just going to have that spidey sense of, that doesn't sound right. That sparks a curiosity. It's like, okay, well, is that because it's not true? You know, wait a minute, that's not true. Wait a minute, that's not true. I think there's going to be a lot of that. And I think they're going to be for big things.
Yeah.
Like people all of a sudden are going to be like, wait a minute, I don't like broccoli. Why am I eating it? That kind of thing
And I
on a
think Venus,
larger scale.
and I think Venus, where she's sitting, is going to help with that. It's like as you start listening to that ping, part of the question that you should ask yourself or consider asking yourself is, do I value this?
Yeah.
Is what I'm finding out there something that I find aligns with who I am and my values, or am I just taking it at face value because somebody said that it's supposed to be this way?
Mhm.
Sort of goes back to the astrology conversation. Like, are we ascribing to some of the things that we look at for archetypes and energies and all of that in astrology because that's the way it's always been in the last several hundred years, and that's what
Right.
we have learned from.
And we're not thinking about it. But when we tune into the sky, what do we get? What's our truth? And again, we're going to apply that to, yeah, I'm going there. We're going to apply that to politics because I'm sorry, but Sagittarius and Saturn in Aquarius, we're going to apply that to politics. We're going to apply that to um, technology.
Yeah.
And we might find that some of the things that we're afraid of, we don't need to be afraid of. We might find that some of the things that we've been told are the coolest things since sliced bread are actually pinging our hinky meter hard. We're going to be, medicine. There's just going to be a lot of the, all right, what's true for me?
Right. Right. And you may find new sources of information too. You may have had, you know, again, that Mercury and Gemini with that sun there is it's an information highlight, right? That sun is
Yeah,
going, hey, look. take a real good look at this. I'm going to illuminate this for you. Is this something you value? Do
Yeah,
you want this in your life anymore? Do you use this as source of information? And I'll go to the other platform is some people I think are finding that, and no, this to each his own, but certain religious dogma doesn't fit for them anymore. And
yep,
again, I'm not meaning that in a disparaging way. It just doesn't fit for their personal value system
that's
anymore,
right. That's
right? So they find their own spiritual connection, Neptune, Pisces, finding a
mhm.
new way to connect to the divine. However you define that, God, divine, Buddha, it doesn't matter to me. It's personal. It's very personal. And I think this is a personal exploration opportunity, you know. Rewrite the book for yourself.
Rewrite your book. Yes, we've had a balancing experience, and now we can move forward from a newly empowered place and
Yeah.
find some new truth because we've got pieces in a different place than they were before. We're different. We are different beings, and so we get to explore again and find out what is true for us. But
Well, in the moon, I mean, the new moon, having been in Taurus, invited us to do that before everything moved to Gemini, coming to it from a place of personal values. You know,
mhm,
does this support your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-worth? Because it's all your intrinsic values as well. And I think
yeah,
that set the stage for us to move into Gemini to do that exploration from that perspective, you know. And does it have a sense of beauty to it? Taurus is about beauty. You know, does it connect to nature? We've talked a lot about getting back to the earth, you know, really connecting to the earth and the cosmos, you know, in a
does it?
very
Yeah,
natural way.
does it support my physical being? Does it? Yeah, does it enhance my experience, my life experience, my life force, my living, all of that?
Yeah. And this is an opportunity to do that. So, you know, what seed you planted in Taurus as the new moon was perfected, think about how you're using those in this full moon harvest, right?
Hmm.
Are you able to harvest what you planted? Did you set some intentions? Some people do, some people don't. Do you just feel into it? You know, where are you at?
Yeah. I mean, when you're more solid on what you value, like, okay, I know what's really important to me. And now you find you're curious about a whole new set of stuff and other things that you thought were like crucial before suddenly just don't mean as much.
Right.
And other things that you thought wouldn't interest you or thought you were always told you should shy away from. Maybe I want to look into organic gardening, you
Yeah.
know, whatever, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Nikki just asked a question. Do you think Neptune square could complicate things, leaving us with more questions than answers?
Yes. In fact, I don't think Neptune is in the answers business at all. I think it's definitely this whole thing is the questions business.
Yeah.
We don't get answers till we get to Virgo, baby.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's true, but the questions are the point. The questions are really the point. That's the scientific process, isn't it? Anybody who embarks on the scientific process for anything knows that they're not there to really find answers. They're there to continually ask questions.
Right. Right.
And yes, and Neptune supports that curiosity. So as you find things that ring true for you, you'll find that there are more things that need questioning. Um, and that's good. Even Saturn in Aquarius, even Saturn, we're not Saturn in Capricorn, where we it is like it is like it is, and that's all, and we know, and that's it. Saturn's in Aquarius. He's even open to some questioning as well. I'm going to allow for a changing of a paradigm, but I'm going to provide a safe internal structure for me to explore a new paradigm. Does that
Right.
make sense? Do you see?
Yeah, yeah, I that makes, and you know, we've got some momentum here too because we have Mars in his happy stars of Aries. There is fire, there is energy, there is the desire and motivation to move because he's in his home stars, kind of blowing a little fire back there. You know, there isn't a major. The only aspect I see is what do we got here? A sextile with Mercury. So that's an opening for that exploration, right? And that's the only aspect aside from Black Moon Lilith in a trine.
Mhm.
So,
So I mean, that's it. This is definitely, we wanted to, be secure with our inner self in Taurus. That's what that whole Taurus stellium was about, is to get right, get balanced with yourself, because now it's all up in the air again,
yeah,
like literally in the air. And and that's very cool. But you have to be cool with that. You have to be cool with, I really don't know anything.
yeah, yeah. Well, and there was, and I'm going to go just a teeny bit down the rabbit hole, because we were going to make this one a little bit shorter today.
Oh, we knew we were full of shit when we said that. Come
True that. Um,
on.
but but the whole challenge to the belief system was prompted also a bit about the conversation on radical astrology about the whole Mercury Venus thing. And so we've been rolling around the idea that if you swap Mercury and Venus as far as which stars they got are guardians of. See, we're also getting away from the word ruler. So there's
Mhm.
an interesting thinking process behind this. But at any rate, so if you were to say, we know Venus rules Taurus and Mercury rules Gemini, but if you follow that around to Virgo and Libra by order, logically, there's the Mercury in me, you
Yep.
would have Venus ruling Virgo and Mercury ruling Libra, because you'd keep the same pattern, with Venus, Virgo,
Yes.
and Mercury. And then they would stay in earth signs and air signs respectively, but they got flopped. So that's what we've been rolling around today is, well, what does that look like if we make Mercury the ruler of Libra and Venus the ruler of Virgo?
I mean, and even just allowing for that possibility in me, just like felt better. Like, oh my God, yes. Like, doesn't Venus feel so much better as the avatar of Virgo? And doesn't Mercury just feel so much better as the avatar of Libra? Yes. So, but then that led to all kinds of other questions,
Yeah,
right? And so yeah, does Neptune complicate things? Yeah,
on purpose.
on
Okay.
purpose, but in a really good and exciting way that just opens up so many more possibilities.
Right, right. And you can use that energy in a good way. Don't be complacent about it. Again, just let that energy of Mars prompt you to go, huh, like we're putting that out there. It would be really great. Put some comments out there
Mhm.
about this whole idea if we were to flip-flop Virgo and Libra in terms of their rulers. What would you think? How would you see that in your own chart? Like for me, I'm a Virgo ascending, so now I'm like thinking, Venus is a chart ruler. That's interesting.
And I have a Libra moon. So Mercury with my moon honestly just feels so much better. Like, oh, I can get my head back in the game, right? So it's interesting.
Yeah,
Julie and I also pointed out that many of us on Radical Astro have a Virgo stellium
yeah.
of one ilk or another. And so the idea that Venus is put back as and I swear to God, it was originally at some point it was flip-flopped on purpose. And I don't know why yet, but there's a rabbit hole I'm chasing about that too. But at some point, some crusty Greek guy probably decided that what I'm going to do, or I don't know, some alchemist from the 15th century, yeah, we're going to make Virgo the ruler of Libra and Mercury the ruler of Virgo. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because
But
Virgo
it
has a
doesn't
very
work.
yeah, Virgo has a very feminine quality to it. So we talked about that as well. Like she's the harvest time and the spider mother giving birth to all the little baby nebulae and so there's a very Venusian quality about that. And then, Virgo's also the stars about your routine and your health. So if you were to let Venus, boy, that would be a tough one. Virgo, Venus. Oh. If you let Venus be the guide for Virgo, think of how that softens that, right? Seeing
Yes.
the perfection and beauty in everything rather than digging for the detail to make it all perfect.
Yes. Yes. Approaching your health with love, more of love and respect for your body. Um, Virgo is an earth sign too.
Yeah.
And Venus is an earthy planet, and Libra is an air sign. and
Yep.
Mercury is an air planet, and honestly, Mer Libra really benefits from Mercury's, I use the word transactional quality,
Yep.
because Mercury helps Virgo not to lose itself in the other person, whereas the Venus in Libra just wants to keep giving the self over all the time. I want to open the heart. I want to feel that. I want to love the other person. And it gets really out of balance quick. But if I've got Mercury energy there, that I
Yep.
can draw from and be, no, 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 wait a minute. I have to keep this on an even keel. I have to be aware of myself and other. That transactional nature kind of benefits the Libra, keeps it balanced in the self. There's a give and a take. There's
Yeah, this is interesting because now more thoughts are rolling in my head because I think by design that Virgo and Pisces are the largest constellations because I see them as bridge constellations, right? And I've mentioned this before. You've got from Aries to Leo is all about the self,
Mhm.
self-development, self as it interacts with its smaller, like home and immediate community, siblings, family, that kind of thing. But Virgo gets you ready to go out into the world and learn how to be in service to self and others. Look at ways to make things better. Understand all the different little details. Get your routine down before you head out into the world. Then
Where
you
you
go Libra.
interact.
Yes, yes. And then get your Libra to Aquarius. That's all out in the world. That's all interacting with other at some level. And then Pisces is the return back to the we are all one, right? So it's interesting to think about Virgo having Venus kind of really create that balance within the self as we move into starting to transact with
A
other.
cocoon around the self.
Oh God, here we go back to the butterfly.
I did
I
that
love
on
it.
purpose. It, yes, creates that sort of cocoon around that you then take out into the interactions with other people, so that you've got that big lump of self-love there that
Yeah,
you're going to need when you learn how to balance yourself with the collective.
yeah,
And then you get into the deep waters of Scorpio and Ophiuchus where, woo,
yeah.
and then, yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to throw that challenge out there to everybody, whether you're seeing it live now. Hi, Nikki, bless your heart. And Jennifer Scott was on here too. But or those of
Yes,
you,
Jen.
yeah, yeah. So for those of you that catch it on the replay or whatever, this is a challenge. So take a look at if you know your chart. If not, you can hit a few of us up. There's plenty of us out in
Jen
Reddit.
totally knows her chart. I know Jen knows her chart.
Well, think about what you have going on in Virgo and Libra. And if you were to shift these rulers as or avatars or guides or guardians or keepers of those stars to where Venus has Virgo and Mercury has Libra, how does that affect your chart? So like I said, for me personally, it changes my chart ruler. So it's like, interesting. And interestingly enough, that makes Venus my chart ruler, and Venus is in Gemini in my chart. So now that's funny. So it's like, how does that sit? So, and in Mercury ruling Libra, how does that affect the planets you may have in Libra or the house where Libra sits in your chart? So really, I challenge people, hey, maybe we're the Ptolemy of our times.
And think about that for everybody. The South Node is in Virgo right now.
Yes.
So what if we were to take that transactional Mercury, everything's got a price, everything has to be measured against a successful, there's success, there's failure, there's accomplishing and doing, and health has got to be paid for, and women have to be owned and priced, and beauty is a commodity and all of that. What if we were to take the dark side of Mercury out of Virgo and install Venus into the collective South Node?
Oof.
Now we look back upon everything that has come before with love.
Compassion of the North Node in Pisces.
Yes.
And Chiron in Pisces. We're healing this.
Mm-hmm.
We're healing this for everybody.
Mhm.
And it goes it in yeah, again, instead of being very transactional, it's like how can we do it from a place of the Venus perspective?
Yeah, Venus love goggles,
Yeah.
where
Venus love goggles.
exactly where
I hurt you. Oh my God.
but yeah, where it is no longer transactional, but speaking to value, speaking to love,
Yeah.
speaking to yeah.
And using again that she is also the keeper of the stars of Taurus, those intrinsic values, you
Mhm.
develop those and you use those as service to yourself first, and then you can take it out to service to others. I
Mhm.
think that, boy, I'm really, the more we talk about this, the more I'm liking this.
Yes.
I
Just there's no downside here. Yeah,
don't think there is.
I don't think
Again,
there is.
challenge to all of you out there. If you're really adamantly like, nope, it's got to stay Mercury,
Mhm.
mount your case. Use
So
the sun in Gemini to give us the information that is prompting you to believe that. I would
yeah,
love to hear it.
me too.
Yeah.
So to sum up, everybody, what you have just witnessed here is the Gemini Sagittarian axis square Neptune in action.
Yep.
We just gave you a demonstration of what that energy does, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's how do you like how we just tied in the whole full moon thing right there?
I think you did a beautiful job, my friend.
Awesome.
I
Was
think you did
wasn't
beautiful.
really a tangent, it was a demonstration.
Yeah. It's really interesting how this one is coming about. And then we've got the solstice. We've got some interesting things happening in the next months because we're going to have the US Pluto return second hit coming up. So that'll bring some
But don't
interesting.
worry, we've got Saturn retrograding back
Yep.
Aquarius, so it's all good. It's all good.
And retrograde allows for all the RE words: revisit, revamp, recreate, review,
Mhm.
reconsider. So it's an opportunity to use that Saturn's retrograde to help us with the transformational energy of Pluto in Sagittarius Capricorn cusp. I mean, really, it's right on the edge there. So, but interesting.
Well, friends,
Yes.
I really do have to get moving, and we've cut into our friend Danny's time. We didn't mean to. Danny, we love you. I'm sorry.
That's why replays are good too. So
That's right.
we can always trade off with each other. So for the meditation, stay tuned because my lovely stellar co-host is going to do a re-record at some point, one that'll improve the sound quality. That was me having to try to convert to different formats to get it posted. So apologies for the sound quality. And then she's going to approach it in a little bit different way that'll make it so that you don't have to listen. If you're a Capricorn moon, you have to listen to everything comes before it to figure out what
Yeah,
to.
just maybe a little more user-friendly
Yeah,
format because, I'm sorry, Pisces moons, this would be a long one for you. But
right, right.
so I'm hoping to fix that.
So
Anyway,
shifting it up.
yeah.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. We'll post that. And you can use it for any lunar cycle or any new moon cycle, and you may decide that, like I've got the butterfly now, maybe 4 lunar cycles down the road, I might, say, you know what? I've really worked with you enough. I'm going to go hang out with my bull again and find out what else might be useful.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially if you've got something going on in your chart, they may prompt that. Maybe you have your solar return. Maybe you're having a nodal return. Maybe you're having a Saturn return. Whatever it happens to be, you might consider using the meditation to see if there's a different guide that might help you through this. So, and
Mhm.
we're also playing around with connecting the divine feminine more with the constellations. So we're playing with that. So stay tuned for that. So. Anyhow, thank you for those that actually found us. Thank you for those who will find us on replay.
Honestly, two people, you guys made my night, really.
It's okay. And we may consider using YouTube as the go-to because it's not excluding anybody who's not on Rad Astro. Because you
Yeah.
can just come. You don't even have to be a subscriber to my channel. It doesn't matter. It's a way to connect. So we'll roll that around, see how that goes. Love the feedback. And let us know how this moon cycle goes for you. So anyway, you can find me yourBestHopesWC.com. And my dear friend can be found
Dion
at.
at venus-13.com.
Yep. So there you all have it. All right, my friends, we will see you out.